Well, who doesn't love to shoot hoops in his free time? Everyone loves playing basketball and also adores the players who play professional basketball. Players spend years of hard work to be drafted into the NBA and have a good career. Well, even though several players have made it to the NBA, some of them didn't end their careers on a high note. In today's video, you're going to see some professional NBA players who didn't have a great ending to their career and who were banned by the NBA. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button on your way in and push the bell icon to stay updated with further videos. Well, you all know how much basketball has an influence all over the world. Nowadays, you see kids from a very small age handle a basketball so well, leaving you a bit jealous, right? Just kidding. And the players who play professional basketball are athletes who are followed all around the world. There have been players who have set a mark in the game and are seen as legends of the game. There are still other players who have left a mark, but in a way not the same as that of others. There have been several players who were banned by the NBA and never played again. That's what you are going to see today. The first in the list of players who had a bad turnover of events and could not play in the league ever again was Jack Molines. Number 10. Jack Molines. He was the third overall pick in the year 1953. He was drafted to play for the Fort Wayne Pistons. With debuting in the same year itself on the 7th of November, he played a total of 32 games in the 1953-1954 season. Well, his first year was quite astonishing. Why? Because he earned his spot in the All-Star game when he averaged 11.6 points and 7.1 rebounds. Some crazy numbers right there. So the question that comes into your mind is how the career of such a player came to an end, right? The answer is that Jack was banned from the league for betting against his own team. Well, that was a kind of a weird situation. In the year 1961, he was the man behind a scandal in college basketball, which led to the arrest of 37 people and the reason why Hall of Famers Connie Hawkins and Roger Brown couldn't make it to the league. Number 9. Richard Dumas. Richard was selected by the Phoenix Suns in the second round of the draft year in 1991. But he took another year to make his debut in the game, which happened on December 18, 1992. Now, why did he take a year to make his debut? Well, he was suspended the first year for substance abuse. That is not quite an impression you would want to make if you are a rookie. On his debut season, he averaged a 15.8 points and featured in the 1993 NBA Finals, where he played against the Bulls, which included the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. Impressive, right? Of course. But Dumas was suspended indefinitely for substance abuse. He again made a comeback after the next season and played in the 1994-95 and 1995-96 season. But after a few suspensions, NBA was literally fed up and banned him permanently for substance abuse. It is really sad the players who had good potential lost their career due to substance abuse. Well, Dumas was one among them, but not the only one. Number 8. John Drew. John had a long career. He played in the NBA from 1974 to 1985. He had quite an impressive career where he appeared 2 times for the All-Star Games. He was a forward for the Atlanta Hawks and the Utah Jazz. He averaged about 20 points and 7 rebounds per game in the 11-year-long career where he played a total of 739 games. But what brought it to an end? Why did the NBA ban him? Well, he was banned for substance abuse itself. He was the first player to have ever been banned from the NBA for substance abuse. He was banned permanently from the NBA when he failed 3 consecutive drug tests. Number 7. Roy Tarpley. The next player in the list is the Dallas Mavericks power forward. He played 6 full seasons for them. But in his career, he faced a lot of problems and had struggles with drugs and alcohol. He was drafted 6th by the Mavs in the 1986 draft. At first, Tarpley was suspended temporarily, but after a couple of seasons, even though he made a comeback, he failed to keep himself sober from alcohol abuse. Well, this time the NBA were not to give Roy any more second chances and banned him for good. Number 6. Tyreke Evans. This guy was a beast. Evans was crowned Rookie of the Year in 2010. In his 10-year-long career, before being banned by the NBA after violation of anti-drug policy, he averaged 15.7 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. He played for Sacramento Kings, New Orleans Pelicans, Memphis Grizzlies, and the Indiana Pacers. Quite a long run, right? The good news for Evans is that he has served his ban and at the age of 31, he could still make a comeback to the league. Good news for him. Drug abuse has destroyed many careers. But for Evans, he still has a chance to turn his life around and bring fame back to his name. Number 5. O.J. Mayo. Mayo was a player who had a high potential in every way. He was a noted player while making his way into the NBA. He was drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the 2008 draft and was the 3rd overall pick. He lived up to expectations. He had a very impressive few seasons at the beginning of his NBA career, where he averaged 15.2 points per game while shooting 37.5% of his shots from downtown. In his 5th season where he played for the Mavericks, he averaged 15.4 points while shooting 40.7% of his shots from deep down. He went on to sign for the Bucks. Well, after that, he was to go as a free agent, but it was at that time where he was banned by the NBA for violating their anti-drug policy. Another talent was wasted by the banning of Mayo. Number 4. Chris Washburn. He suffered a similar fate as that of John Drew. He was drafted as a 3rd overall pick by the Golden State Warriors in the 1986 NBA draft. Even though he had a legendary college career where he used to average 16.4 points and 6.6 rebounds per game in 2 years, his NBA career wasn't impressive enough. He was only able to average about 3.1 points and 2.4 rebounds per game. It may be due to his weak performances that he was pulled into substance abuse, and the NBA barred him from ever stepping into the court again. Besides his career, his life also faced a downfall after his addiction to drugs, because he had to visit the rehabilitation centers frequently, and the former Golden State Warrior also suffered financially. A number of careers have been destroyed due to abuse of substances and addiction to drugs. It's a shame to the game and the potential that the player has. The next one in the list was banned for a reason other than drug abuse. Number 3. Ralph Beard. He was an Indianapolis Olympian and was an astounding player. He was the 22nd overall pick in the year 1949 and was drafted as a point guard. In his first couple of seasons, he was next to unstoppable. With averaging 15 points and 4 assists per game, what made his career go down the track into hell? He was banned from playing in the NBA because of his scandals associated with him betting on the games. He used to take money to score less than 10 points a game. Pretty disgusting for a player with such talent, right? Of course it is. But the next player in the list is no different. Well, he played with Ralph himself in the Kentucky U. Number 2. Alex Groza. Being the 2nd overall pick in the NBA season of 1949, he played a couple of seasons for the Olympians. He played with Ralph Beard, but his performance was better than him. With averaging about 22 points per game, he was also banned along with Ralph for a scandal associated with betting. Well, the last person on the list is not a player who was banned from the NBA, but it was among the most controversial ones. The next one on the list is Donald Sterling. Number 1. Donald Sterling. Donald Sterling owned the LA Clippers and was banned by the league in 2014 by Adam Silver, who was the commissioner at that time, for making racist comments. A recording of Donald making racist remarks was released and he was permanently banned from the league. From where Steve Ballmer bought the franchise for $2 billion. Donald was forced to sell the franchise and the Lakers were in new hands. Well, you have seen the players who made their own career and life into a living hell because of the poor choices they made in their life. Such great potential was wasted due to drug abuse and spot fixing. Well, hope you guys understood how life could change when you make atrocious decisions. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like and share the video. Let us know in the comments if you're familiar to any other players who went through the same incident. That's all for today.